Many people lament that the education system is broken, and you might agree. Why you think the system is broken, it could be a number of different factors. So I'm just going to explain why I think the system is failing or falling down or its major limitations, and then how we can fix that. I think one of the major issues facing us now is the demands placed on teachers, and we are being told to do too much, right, with too little time and resources, right? And that's the fundamental equation in stress, when demands exceed resources available. What we're trying to be encouraged to do is that we bend over backwards to cater for our individual students, and that there's a pressure, either it's direct or implicit, that we cater to whatever the students want to do and how they want to learn and what they want to learn. No, this is not what we do. Okay, that's where we're falling down, because the reality of trying to do that is it's impossible with the time and resources that we have available. So the far better option is to, we as teachers, take back autonomy and control of what we're doing. Okay, it's all about empowering students and student-directed and student-led instruction. If you can do that and you're enjoying doing that, fantastic, great. Okay, let other people come into your classroom and watch and learn from you. But if you're feeling the pressure of doing that and it's burning you out, then please do what I did. Take back control of your content, take back control of your syllabus, and devise really interesting, engaging outcomes. Because we can still have every kid finding a path at school without having every teacher try to find the individual paths for every kid. Right? Come back to this that equity image that I ranted about in one of my previous videos. Okay, what if, yes, sure, in that circumstance, there's a disparity and there's a disadvantage there. But what if, right, in order to get to that fence, they had to crawl through a tunnel? Okay, suddenly the little kid, the shortest guy, has got a massive advantage, and the tall kid can't get through, so they can't get there. Now, okay, well, that's just an abstract metaphor, but it makes perfect sense. The kid that struggles in math class excels in PE class. The kid that struggles in English class excels in music class. That's the case for a diverse curriculum. If there's anyone if there's any school district who's equally proposing cutting budgets and reducing course selection while still promoting equity, you can tell them that they're full of shit. Because really, we have to provide multiple opportunities in schools to succeed. And even if one school can't physically provide multiple opportunities for whatever reason, but that's a beauty of having a range of different schools that cater and have a range of different specialties. I wouldn't object to any music school saying we don't offer PE because we're a music school. I wouldn't say, well, you have to have a range of outcomes for kids to succeed. No, because parents select their kids to go to a music specialist school, or a kid goes to a ballet school. That's fine, right? And so, but that is how we fix the education system, where we have a range of avenues for kids to explore and foster their passions, inspired and led by instructors and teachers who are experts and specialists in those fields. What we're trying to do is take those 30 different curriculum options that might be available across different schools and even within one big school, and place it on the responsibility to the individual teacher to do that. Your kids are, I'm teaching math, but this kid's a music kid, so how are you going to teach math through music? But he's a physical, like a sports kid, so how are you going to teach math through sports? That kid there is an artistic kid. How are you going to teach through math through art? You got to inspire that. You got to foster that love of art in your math class. Off I do. That's not how life works. Look, the reality is, to be successful in life, sometimes you have to spend time doing things you don't want to do. And we want to protect kids from this reality, I think, in education. And 10 years ago, if I was watching this video of me 10 years ago, in my younger, naive, idealistic days of teaching, I would have thought, man, what like an idiot this guy is. Okay, my ideas in teaching have changed over 10 years as I've figured out the practical realities of what happens in the classroom. So where I think the education system is broken, in that we're asking individual teachers in their individual classrooms to cater for all the range of possible interests and foster those passions and desires of the individual kids whilst still teaching a specific subject. Well, if you want me to do that, if you want me to foster the individual passions and desires of these kids, then don't call me an English teacher, don't call me a psychology teacher, don't call me a PE teacher. Just call me a babysitter. And they can come in and don't give me a curriculum, because they have to figure it out, right? Don't give me standardized tests, don't give me exams, because they're the ones I'm fostering their passions and they're figuring out their path, right? I'm just going to foster them on their path. Well, how do I know how to assess them? Because I don't know where their individual path is going to take them. Okay, so it's ridiculous, the fact that we understand inherently, right, that we want these kids to learn English, math, science, PE, music, art, okay, technology, robotics. We want them to learn this stuff, but we don't. So yeah, anyway, I feel like I'm making a pretty good case here. We want these kids, if we feel like these subjects are important and they can take them, English, math, science, for example, then in those classes, we should be teaching English, math, science. Leave the teaching to the teachers. Okay, these kids have every opportunity to explore what it is that they might want to do in the future. But I used to think naively that schools were the place where they would come in and it was almost just like a filtering system where our job was just to find out who they were and what they liked, what their passions were, and direct them down that path. No, and then I've since changed my tune and realized actually that's a practical impossibility and it's just not good education system. Okay, for example, I regularly have students now who come into my psychology class and go off and study criminology later in life, okay? And why? Well, because I'm really proud of that unit that I created that allows them, and it inspires students and they enjoy it in school and then they're in their last 2 years of high school and they like it and then they realize, that's something I can study at university, and they go off and do that. More so now, that probably happened before I did that, where they go off and study that subject or study psychology at university, but it's definitely noticeably happening more so now once I took back control of my curriculum. Okay, I'm harping on about that enough, but that's where the education system in my mind is broken. That's why teachers are burning out. We're trying to bend over backwards to cater to the individual wants and needs of individual students, whereas actually in reality, how we achieve equitable success is to provide different avenues for kids to succeed and pursue those passions and interests, but that doesn't have to mean every individual teacher has to do that in their subjects. Okay, we have extracurricular activities. We have a diverse curriculum where it offers kids a range of abilities to succeed and excel. And you know what? If a kid fails in one subject, okay, they have opportunities to succeed in others. There's nothing wrong with failure. Anyway, bit all over the shop, but I think I made some good points in there.